As we head to the bottom of the second, let's get a refresher on what Banana Ball is all about.
That's right, Biko. We've got some Australian viewers tuning in this morning, so we're going to do a little bit of a remedial course. I'm Professor Josh Talevsky, PhD in Bananalytics, and let's get into this Banana Ball 101. So we're going to dive into the rules here, and first off, win the inning, get a point. It's a points game in Banana Ball. You score more runs than the other team in an inning, you get the point.
Easy enough.
Now, 2-hour time limit. In Major League Baseball last year, the average game, 3 hours and 2 minutes. Banana Ball, the game is always 2 hours long. Batters can steal first base in Banana Ball. You see a wild pitch, he's going to try and take off and steal first base. And then we have sprints allowed instead of walks. You guys already saw the Drop Bears master the sprint defense, which I've diagrammed for you. Other rules, no mound visits, no stepping out of the batter's box, no bunting, and if a fan catches a foul ball, it counts as an out in this ball game. And now, as we go into our other slide, we've just got a couple popular terms we use a lot in Banana Ball. They include a trick play out. You just saw one from Bill Leroy. And our tour leader is Ryan Cox. He has 65 trick play outs this season. MPI stands for minutes per inning. It's the time it takes a pitcher to record 3 outs and get through an inning. Now, if a walk-up is allowed, that inning is nullified. And Christian Dearman, the man on the mound for the Bananas, he has the single inning record. He got through an inning in 1 minute and 13 seconds. And then, of course, a showdown shutdown. We might get into that later tonight in a close ball game. That's if a pitcher prevents a run from scoring in our showdown tiebreakers. He gets credited with a shutdown.
It's the basics, but it's good to nail down for all of our friends from the lands down under who maybe have not seen this sport before. What do we got?
So we did a little refresher course on Banana Ball for our Australian viewers.
Correct.
So now, Australia 1001. Welcome
right.
to class. This is for our American viewers.
Now we learn about Australia.
Yes,
yeah.
That's exactly right.
Okay, cool.
So we get into the first slide of this. Basic information. Australia is officially known as the Commonwealth of Australia.
Did not know that.
It's a continent and a country, the only of its kind. 6th largest country in the world. January 1st, 1901, the date of federation for them. It's a constitutional monarchy, which I'd explain it, but that's something above my pay grade, to tell you the truth.
Me too.
Charles III, he's the current king. This happened in 2022, so rather recently,
No
in
joke.
fact. English, the official language, not Australian. And the official currency is the Australian dollar, which equals 67 cents in the U.S. dollar.
Pretty good.
And, of course, the land down under, a pretty common nickname, of course, Oz, and the wide brown land.
I hadn't heard that one.
So we'll get into slide number 2 here. Some landmarks and features. Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth. We got some of the largest cities here. The Sydney Opera House, the Great Barrier Reef, and Mount Augustus. Some of the landmarks. Mount Augustus, that's the largest monolith in the world.
What is
really cool.
What's a monolith?
Well, it's a landmass.
Okay, cool.
There will be a picture.
Let's move past
Some
it.
notable wildlife, koalas, dingoes, and Kangaroo Jack from the movie.
Of course.
And top exports, iron ore, coal, petroleum gas, gold, and wheat. One of these is not like the other. I'd like to think wheat's the forgotten brother of the group. You see some of our pictures? Hey, there's Kangaroo Jack! And then, of course, I've got some Aussie slang here that we can get into before Tyrell Harris takes the mound. I'd like to point out Milko, the milkman. I felt like you'd appreciate that. And, of course, the banana bender. That's someone from Queensland in Australia.
That is eye-opening stuff, Josh Talevsky. Thank you so much, my dear man.
And now, as we're back in Grayson Stadium, I figured I'd touch on Australia, even though I have never visited the land down under. So here we go. Australia by Josh Talevsky. No professor in front of this one, okay? As we get into this, the pros of Australia. Well, let me tell you. The Sydney Opera House?
Of course.
I think that's a pro.
Gotta be.
The 2000 Summer Olympic Games were played in Sydney, and I think that's a pro as well. We love worldwide sport.
Agree.
Now, didgeridoos. I mean, you're seeing it in the pregame. The guy who comes out and plays that didgeridoo, that's pretty exciting.
Major pro.
Now, a ute. Do you know what a ute is?
Is it another kind of instrument?
It's a utility vehicle. I'll have a picture of
way
it.
off.
But those look pretty cool.
I was thinking like ute, flute, you know?
Now, here's where I get into some musical ventures. AC/DC rules. Our next category, or next band, how about the Men at Work? I'm a big fan of Colin Hay and his band. I think they rule.
Both great bands there.
They talk about Vegemite sandwiches.
It's a fact.
Now, how about the Wiggles?
I like them.
I love the Wiggles. Are you kidding me? And how about the hardware store food and the waltzing Matilda? Now, you're getting to see some pictures. There's the utility vehicle. That's hardware store food, man. You can get this sausage when you go to the hardware store. They're selling food to you. It's kind of like Costco in America. That's how I like to look at it. And by the way, the Waltzing Matilda, it's their unofficial national anthem, and it's rather catchy, by the way.
Okay, got to give that a listen. I also, next time I'm up in Saugerties, New York, have to tell my good friends at Smith Hardware, where I worked for a couple summers during the college days and a couple winter breaks at Deeb. We learned a little bit about Australia earlier tonight. Josh, we're going to continue learning about the country and the continent.
That's right. We're getting back into this PowerPoint. I did the pros. Now I'm going over the cons of Australia. So how about snakes? Some of the most venomous snakes in the world, the top 10 actually, all in Australia.
Wow.
Barefoot folk. I don't really, they walk around barefoot all the time. I'm not big on that. And shoeies, chugging the beer out of the shoe. I'm not about that either.
I think the last two are both pros for Pico.
Crocodile Dundee 2. Number 1 was good. Number 2, not a sequel nobody asked for. And how about this? Magpies. They'll swarm you in Australia. It's quite dangerous. I think that's a con.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Now, top 5 Australians. I've got Russell Crowe, Greg Norman, Hugh Jackman, Steve Irwin, and the Tasmanian Devil. And here I've got this picture of Russell Crowe, Greg Norman, Hugh Jackman. There's old Steve Irwin, and of course, the Tasmanian Devil. And now we will get into Josh's score. Guys, I'll hold for your drum roll. Australia gets 9.5 out of 10 cricket balls for me. I have never been to Australia, but let me tell you, I'm quite impressed. And if it wasn't for the swarms of magpies, I think you'd get a perfect 10.